And by them, it was Gan Eden, and he brought him a whole meal. He says, here, you tippish with your bטחון. You say you have bטחון. Your bטחון didn't work. I had to help you out. So this got back the brisker Rav to brisk. Was it the Rav himself? Brisk. David told over the story. That I heard. ABP, I just heard it. And he said, what's in the book?
It's in the book, first one, I think.
There you go. It's in the book. And he said that Nebuch the Balabos is a player. He made sure that his bטחון should work. Just because you happen to be there, you think the whole world stands on you. If you wouldn't have been there, he would have got it somewhere else. But they just planted you and made you a curious type. Hey, you're a curious type of guy. So you should hang around like a Meshuggah instead of you don't have what to do with yourself. You're worried about this bacha. Hashem made sure that you should be a little interesting guy that's so curious and has good food. It's all the evil. You think it's you. You blew it. You missed the boat. You don't chop. This man's bטחון worked. And you were the one who supplied what he needed. That is, did I say it good? All the briskers know that story. Now,
you're singing another story.
What?
A similar story to this?
Yeah, similar story. What was a similar story?
At the train station. So I was waiting for a ticket.
Yeah. They say Rabban did such a thing. I heard that, and I know who gave him the ticket. And someone said the story is not true. So I'm not getting involved. But at least they made it up. So I know who did it, and I heard it 10 times from 10 different people. Or Rabban was waiting by the bus stop in Manhattan with no ticket until somebody said, Rosh Yeshiva has a ticket? He says, I'm okay. And suddenly he gave him a ticket. Now, I don't know if it happened or not. I heard it 10 times, and then somebody said the whole thing's lahadam. So I don't know if it's lahadam or it's not lahadam. But in Novandig, they did that. Now here comes another Novandig story. This I heard. Aid me P8, I'll tell you who it was. Rozansky, it should be a schus for his heilig and Neshama, my dear friend, who was just nifter, Yitzchak Osher Rozansky. A tzaddik Yingaman, I want to dedicate to him and his Choshva Rebbetzin. But I'm going to say now, he told me the story. His father learned in Radin, I think. Whatever he learned in a regular yeshiva, not Novandig. And what happened to him? He lost his passport. So he lost his passport. He got himself a new one. After he got the new one, he put it in his pocket. The next day he finds the old one. So he's got 2 passports in his pocket. Because if you don't have a passport, you're dead. He goes on a train, and there he sees a Novandig. And now, the way I heard it, the hat was on a little funny.
That's how we knew.
Exactly how bad, that I don't know. Could be the whole thing's lehoya dvar me'olam. Not that they didn't do things like that when they felt they have to do it. I know my Rebbe once did something. I don't want to say it in public because I'm afraid to do that stuff. Watch out. I'm afraid people are going to pick up things that they should. Because I once got a call from a Bacharol on the phone. Right, Mendel? Yes. I want to do a prat. I said, okay. I want to put on my hat backwards. Should I put my hat backwards? I says, no, don't you dare. They'll all think you're crazy. Do not do that. That's what I told them. Big Novandig. The first thing, there's a certain aleph base. First you got to be namal. I want to tell you something about being namal. You know the Alta mirrors were very namal. You ever hear them? You ever hear these Alta mirrors? Dav Zayin namal. Shmuel Brudnir, Shmuel Birma, all of them. Madav Zayin namal. Rav Kanarik. Namal. Be normal for heaven's sake. It's not easy. They don't chop what they're dealing with. You actually want me to be normal in this dark? It says befurish, Pnei Ador Pnei Kelev. Now, let me tell you something. outwardly, people don't look that bad. But I just got a phone call. This happens every day. Well, me and my wife are both on medication. Not for physical, for mental stuff, for anxiety, you know. You know, I heard this from one of the big Torah Masora guys. Got up. I think it was Hillel Mendel, not my brother. I think it was him, or I don't want to say, Kamat Zichel was him. But the biggest from Torah Masora, he spoke in front of all the Maladim, and he says, okay, you got Ritalin? You mean you don't have Ritalin yet? You remember what Ritalin is, or his new stuff today? Ritalin was the thing. And I heard from a different Manal, I'm not going to say his name, who told me, that stuff is great. What it did to my Talmud, I want to try that myself. You think a Malabed doesn't need it? I don't need it. I'm in my own world. And I'm not saying everybody needs it, but there's no question. There's a lot of guys out there who need it. I do want to tell you, people open up to me. I'm unusual, and that I always was, even before I became the world famous Mendel. You know, and they all know me in Israel. Mendel. Rab Mendel. You all know Rab Mendel. You heard of me, Rab Mendel? I was there in Eretz Yisrael. Oh, it's Rab Mendel. They met me in the street. Rab Mendel, Rab Mendel. Ken, I need Rab Mendel. Melikud v'atzma. So I want to tell you, before I was Rab Mendel, what was I talking about? Who?
That's what riddle is for.
People
opened up.
Who?
People say stuff. People saying stuff. People say it.
The Rabbi Torah Masora he started to speak.
Right.
The couple both were on medication.
Yeah. Before I was Mendel, people always opened up to me. Always. This is something about me. They always open up. Don't ask. I've been hearing you two. You know, that's what my kinna issues are in the garbage. I simply don't believe in it. Oh, look at him. I don't look at nobody. The last time I was doing that, the next day the guy comes over to me crying like a baby. I once went to a chasana, to a very, very most illustrious family in the world, from both sides. The Zayda world famous, the other Zayda world famous. And the kids and the Anik are all coming over. By the way, I was there because I made a maifis for someone in the family who was Nebuch, had serious problems, mental stuff, mental stuff, and I cured this person, 1, 2, 3. And then I, Baruch Hashem, within a month there was a new picture. But at the affair, where every guy who sat there was, wow, if you got into that family, it's done. You can get a shidduch with anybody. If you're related to him, you're from that mishpacha. So right then and there, in walks probably come out the most distinguished looking person, except for the two Zaydas who were sitting together like this, comes over to me, and he pours his heart out. And I don't want to, really? Oh. And I'm saying, I was in shock. How could it be that you have such problems? You're like one of those. You're one of the guys that, he got it all. This guy, he got it all.
Looks like he is.
Yeah, he's got it all. Yeah, he's Tarik Dul Makamechan. He's got it all. He's got this. You ever see people with their kinna? They're looking, sometimes just by the way a guy looks, you know how many times I've seen this. How many times I walk into a new place and I see people, either you're going to be in a spell from something. It's either the Streimel or the Spudik or the pay is coming out like this, or he's cool, real cool Harry, a super cool Harry with a personality, or some Yerushalmi with a deep, commanding voice. There's something there that's gonna, or the doctor who looks good and serious. Someone's gonna scare you out there. I habitually go over to the scariest guy, and I say Shalom Aleichem, and I try to be mechazik him. Because I'm positive he looks scary because he's got issues in his head. And he's got issues that are getting him depressed. And the reason why he looks like this is not because he's a principal of a school, that if you make a wrong move, will kill you. He's the mashgiach. That's the serious mashgiach. Don't mess with me. That's not why. Do you want to know the real reason? He's got it. Every move he makes, he goes slow and deliberate, not like an American. You know why he's going slow? He just started a new medication. And he has to get used to it. For bipolar, whatever he has, I promise you. You know how many times I saw things like this? Where it says, here's a real ice gabbat the guy. Here's a real ice gabbat the guy. Look the way. I wish I could do that. You know how many times I looked at him? This is a real ice gabbat. This is what I need. That's when I decided it's time to stop being ice gabbat. Leave me alone with that. Rabbi Miller was ice gabbat. I don't trust anybody. Do not look up to people that he's ice gabbat. I can guarantee you it's baloney. He might be good at certain things that you're not, but you're good at things that he's not. You don't know that. He might be a Yakisha type. Okay, here's a true story. Not stop. Oh boy, oh boy. I have to watch what I'm saying. I don't want to reveal. I don't want anybody to have any hint who, what, when. Someone got up and spoke for hundreds and hundreds, a big, big, big name, who was a mashpia of how you got to do things. Let's say Shalom Bias, whatever, and that's his expertise. He got up and everyone, he's been in the newspaper since he's born. This guy is one of the real, who knows all the answers. He's really brilliant. He's helped thousands of people. I was sitting there. And he started showing how you got to do things, do it with a seder, with a this, you had a whole thing. When everything was over and everyone was like this, how does he do it? I walked over to him myself. Tell me, you're a Yekisha type by nature. I mean, am I right? Since you're a kid? Yes. Oh, okay, that's all I wanted to know. Now, all these guys sitting there are, how do you get so organized? This guy's a Yeki. He's like me. I'm a half a Yeki. I come in time. Half the times I come in time. He was born into it. He's not ice garbage. And he talks about being ice garbage, big time. Ice garbage. What's ice garbage? You were born. You're a Yeki. You can't even be different if you tried. You don't even know how to chill. You don't know how to. I wonder if he can chop a joke, because in Yekaland, jokes were lav davke. Now I'm going to make fun of them big time because I'm allowed to. I'm a half Yeka, so for me it's okay. No Yekis are going to.
Moshe Rabbeinu would say
What?
The rabbi once said Moshe Rabbeinu, Yisrael complained he's not so Messiah.
Yeah. I remember that. That was a good one. I remember. Now I once saw a picture. I'm going to kill the Yekis right now, all of them. You ready? There's a picture in the Yated years ago. I'm going to wipe the floor with them. This is disgusting. Mendel, how could you do this? This is what you talk about. Where's the Abbas Yisrael? I like Yekis. Listen to this. I saw the picture. You can get it if you want. A picture of a line of Yekis. It says Purim in Frankfurt. You know what Frankfurt was? Okay, Frankfurt is the number one. Washington Heights is the Frankfurt community. Rabina Hirsch is Frankfurt. There was a line, it looked about 10 people sitting like this, I promise you. Everyone, the smile, forget about it. There was no such bria. They had some goatees. To have a normal beard by them, not so fast. A goatee, this one had a halba goatee, this one, a kamitzel, a maida b'miktas, they call it, by the chassidim. He's maida b'miktas. Oh, So he got somewhat of a beard. There are a few of them like that. Maybe one or two had a real one. A couple had nothing. And they're sitting like this. I promise you, take out the bottom. You would have said it's Tishpag. For sure, that's what they looked like. They all sat like this. And underneath, Purim in Frankfurt. I was wondering, you guys making fun of them? Why are you right? It looked so opposite of Purim. What's going on? Purim in Frankfurt. Nobody smiles. It's Purim. When are you supposed to laugh? What's going on? Now listen to this. Now that I did such disgusting things, first of all, I do want to tell you, I am named after my Yekisha grandfather. Aleph, that's why, Mutterlach. Number one. Number two, I am a super chassid of Rabbeinu Hirsch. Rabbeinu Hirsch is my Rebbe. Hirsch. Take a look at my stuff. You ever see Bטחון weeklies? You know how often you're going to see Hirsch there? Hirsch is my Rebbe. Do you know what Rabbi Salanta said about Hirsch? He said, there isn't a Gan Eden big enough for Hirsch. Hirsch! Tzaddik Yisrael Olam! I think Rav Chaim Sander said about him that the Yer Shemaim's coming out of his cufflinks. Who they said big things about him. Hirsch, what he was, a Malach Likim. He fought the Haskalah single-handedly. He was such an Elachite. He could have been, he was the chief rabbi in Moravia, whatever whole, what is it called there? In those days, Prussia had different, Germany was not united yet. So it was he was a chief rabbi. He dropped the whole business and he got just a little Frankfurt and he barely had whatever he had there, and he started and he built up a community with Mesiras Nefesh, and the Haskalah was on his case and he let them have it, but good, and with an Elachite, not with a criticism. He did it, but with an Edelkeit. You have to know how to fight. He had Satmar was very good at that. The Satmar was with his Satmar, all the Gedolim, Rabbar, all of them. They loved the same guy. They can kill him yesterday, and today they'll kiss him and hug him. You have to know what you're doing when you're fighting. Whatever. But Hirsch, you know what Hirsch once did? Lionel Baron Rothschild was supporting him. He all his money came from Baron Rothschild. Lionel, he was a baron. You know what a baron is? There's a picture of him with a top hat, with a boom, with a horse and buggy. Baron. And Baron Rothschild's daughter decided she's got to marry her cousin. She liked her cousin, who was not from. And Baron Rothschild came to Rabbeinu Hirsch, and he told him, my daughter would like to marry her cousin. So Rabbeinu Hirsch said, tell your daughter she cannot do that. He goes home. The Rabbina said, you cannot marry your cousin. He doesn't keep, not Shemitah mitzvahs. But father, I must marry my cousin, blah, blah, blah. She wants to marry her cousin. And she's Zimei Chain. So he came back, Rabbina, she doesn't want to listen. She cannot marry her cousin. He goes back again. The Rabbina said, Father, if you won't let me marry my cousin, I'm going to jump off the roof. He came back to Rabbeinu Hirsch. My child told me that if she don't let him marry cousin, she'll jump off the roof. Now, this is my nusach. Rabbeinu Hirsch said, tell your daughter she can gladly jump off the roof. She's not marrying her cousin. Go spring. You want to hear a mice with the elder Muslim? But he needed Baron Hirsch. And Baron Hirsch couldn't listen to him because his daughter wants to marry the Shegit's cousin. And he had his Nisayan, the poor Baron Rothschild. They made a chasna. The Rabbina was not there. You have no idea in the Yekis, you don't attend. It's a bazyonis beyond. And he didn't come. He wasn't the spoil. He needs this man's money. I'm not going. Rabbeinu Hirsch was a tzaddik. I'll tell you another mesa. This happened with Ruderman. Wanted to become, he wanted to join a certain yeshiva. I know who the yeshiva was. I don't want to say his name. He was a Gein Olam. He was in the category of Reb Chaim Briska. That's, when I took out his sefer, I can tell you privately who it was. The most tiefst alumnus, the few shtickles that I saw was out of this world. He was an Eli Otzim, and everyone was after him, and he's starting a new yeshiva. Wow. And all the Eluyim were packing the bags, were running after him. He was a Pemapik Margolius. He opened his mouth. Kolatura came. He was delicious. Look at his sefer. There's not too much from him, but whatever it is, I remember I was crazy impressed. Anyway, Rav Ruderman wanted to go. He's an Eloi in Slobodka. So he told his Rebbe, the Alta, I want to go. So the Alta says, you want to go? Come with me. Well, come with me. Yeah. They took a walk to the lake. There's a bridge on the lake, and he gets up on the bridge. He come in. He tells his Talmud, Rav Ruderman, he says, see, now go, give a jump and say goodbye. Go. What do you mean? Go drown here, not there. If you want to drown, you want to kill yourself, do it home. What do you have to run 100 miles? He lived, I don't know where the yeshiva was, and as you hope it's, go kill yourself here. What do you have to be matriach if you want to commit suicide? Do it right here. That's the story. Rav Ruderman mentioned that every person who went to that yeshiva, all those Eluyim, all went off the derech, except for one, who was someone who's half-baked, Mizrahi types. If I heard correctly, I might have some details wrong. And the other thing that I heard b'shem Rav Ruderman was the reason why the Alta knew clear, this ain't going to last, because there was no Musar in that yeshiva. Gainus of no Musar. Now, I'm not going to say anything now. How much it applies to us, I'm not getting involved. Because when people are weak, you don't start hitting them over the head with things that they're not holding by. Some people, it's good to hear this. Some people, it's very good. If you're going to learn Musa, you know what it's going to do to you? If you, in the next world, you'll be able to say, I learned Musa. Don't ask what that'll do for you. You're clear. You learned Musa? It's done. Alvin Kelm, I think, says somewhere that when you learn a Musa Sefer, you're on the derech of all the shleimus in the world. And you can always, and right then and there, even if you're not there yet, Rav Nosson has a whole shmooze. If you start going a certain direction, and it never happened, you nifta, when Mashiach comes, in the next world you're going to get everything that was on that derech. It's all yours, because you are heading there. When you're learning Musa, you're makabel on yourself. You're saying, I need to improve. You do that, and you're doing it in a serious way, what? Who? That's what I'm saying. Getting there is lav davka. I'm going to say a half of the Gavot. I'm going to tell you half of the Gavot. By Avram Avinu, I think it says, the Eibishter said, Kachma has been, Liten schar al kol dibur v'dibur. I saw two Rashis, one on Lech Lecha, one. And I remember, I'll call psia upsia. Who remembers that Rashi? But either way, you're going to get schar. The Eibishter gives you things to do, to give you schar for every step. Now listen closely. There are people that are impatient. I'm working on Kas for years. And here we go again. I blew it. I'm working on this, on that, kinda type of COVID. Blew it again. Now, I advise you, just keep working. Now, why is the Eibishter keeping you so long? Why is he detaining you? Let's get already. I'm working so hard and I'm still a bum. I'm still a this, I'm still a that. You know why? Litein schar al kol psia psia. Once you get there, you're Gamsa Tzaddik, I'm very happy. Crown Royal, please. I want the Crown Royal. Where did that come from? Just popped up today. I don't know who got it, but I assume it's for me. I want to help myself to some Crown Royal. Elijah Craig, I don't know who that is. Who's this guy? Him we know already. Slivovitz, nice to see you. Yeah, we have all the good people here. All the chashuva. Oh, Russian standard. I told you what I think about the war with Russia and Ukraine. I have a definite opinion about the importance of this milchama. I definitely want the one who has the vodka to win. I want the vodka. That's you have to, your priorities in life. You have to be into priorities. The one who's got vodka, I want that party to win. Because we need that vodka. That's very important. I hear that's what they're telling me. But the one that's better at it, the one that knows how to make vodka, I want you to win the war so I can enjoy some more vodka. L'chaim tovim u'lishalom. Let's have a little Crown Royal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Shakel midvarim. Now, I said a lot of stuff when I was in Eretz Yisrael. Boy, what I said. First of all, the last time I was there, I spoke 5 times in front of a shul. 4 out of 5, I wasn't asked to speak. I pride myself. Right after Chakras, and every time they love it, except the one. One time, it was great, but the Olam wasn't on the Madrega. All the other guys loved it. Oh, you Shalmis. I don't know if they appreciated the fact that a guy could get up and open his big mouth for Rambam without being told. That they don't chop the greatness. In my book, the content of what I said is fine, but the schus of breaking the ice and not being afraid of a bus of a dogim, but I meant to say bus of a dum. But the Welt says bus of a dogim. What the schus of breaking that ice is Kodesh Kedoshim and Avadik. You know what they did? The Malachim came flying down. Mendel, you did something to show that you're not afraid of people, you're more afraid of Hashem. It's Nerdvayim. I advise everybody, but careful. Before you do anything, consult me. Don't, like this Bacher called me up. He wants his hat on backwards. Watch out. But speaking in public, why not? Now I'm going to tell you one what I said. They finished. First of all, if you mind, a little halachas won't kill nobody, just like the spice up. There is in Kol Tzofen, or Hatzofen. That's the famous, like the Chamash, like a place where everybody davens in. There's one place I advise you to get in there. There's a sukkah there. On sukkahs, they put schach. You are davening tefillah b'tzibur in a sukkah, and Rav Scheinberg went berserk over that. He loved it. So it's a thing to think about. I was zeicha by accident. I ended up there. Kamat Phyllis. I was so happy. Another thing I'll mention, Rav Scheinberg, by the way, I learned by him. Rav Scheinberg said that the more you daven for the Yomid, the better it is. Not als Novandik, because it's an Inyan, to be a Shatz. And he used to grab the breakful. Rav Scheinberg always made sure to daven for the Yomid. He used to always do it. And he told me once, it's a big Inyan. Anyway, okay, now, I was in that sukkah. Come inside, make yourself comfortable. In that sukkah, I finished Chakras, and I opened my mouth, and I said, Iger de Schweitzer Dukke, Iger de Kala Dukke. Da Baba mit Beis and Brockers. Iger de Kala Dukke. The main part of Kala is when they got together, they heard a piece of Torah before the regal. The main schar you're going to get is everyone's kvetching around. That's going to give you the main schar. You think it's the learning. Halavai, you know what's going on. Goes into one ear, goes out the same ear. So the main schar you're going to get is dukkha, you got to kvetch around. That's your main schar. I said, I'm looking at my olam here, and everyone's got his lulav. And I know that a lulav and an esrog is a big headache for all of us. Because, watch the pitum. Hey, watch. No, don't. What? When you want to get one from someone else, he says, hold, 1 second, I give you. You want to shake his little, watch the way he gives it to you. He's all, just 1 second. Okay. Your hands are clean. I don't know if he does that, but yeah, the Elam is nervous. And the way they put it away and how to wrap it, I got a headache. And so I said, and you got to stand on line to get your esrig, to get your lulav, and the guys did ain't a cup, and you're getting nervous, and you're nervous before that. And now you walk in, get more nervous. Hat Mendel gesagt, Eged, the Kala Durkje, the main schar, the whole esrig, the Mutchenzach, the being all stressed, is worth more than 100 esregim. Toiv pam batzar mimea belit tzar. The schar you're gonna get for that, your nervousness. That's not fun to be nervous. How many people have a hard time with the esrog? Anybody around here? Am I the only guy? I'm nervous like a crazy guy. Watch the make sure the TM is. You're not nervous? I am. You're gonna yeschar, but don't look for trouble if you're talking that nervous. And the guys loved it. I said, now you're gonna get the main schar. Now I gotta tell you another one. It's a bomb, an atomic bomb. I said another word. I said, Deza Hashem, that there's a Gemara in Lulav Gazel that you take a defus and you put it on the esrig while it's growing, and it's going to grow in the shape of that defus. Who remembers the Gemara? Remember the Gemara? Okay. Now you can make a defus that's shaped like an esrig with the bumps and the ridges. Make it like that. That's kosher. But if you put a box on it, a triangle, and the esrig comes out like that, it's gorgeous. It's straight. It's puzzle. Am I right or wrong? But it's gorgeous. It's nice and round, like a lemon. Now listen to what I'm saying. When you enhance yourself, the heater of an esrig is looking like what you are is a heater. Looking like someone else, I don't care how gorgeous, it's puzzle. You have to enhance me. I am whatever I am. Sit on yourself your whole life and enhance me. Don't look there and there. You're going to be puzzled. And who chaps what I'm trying to say. You want to make yourself puzzle? Look at other people and imitate them. Velt says imitation is suicide. That's another word. I'll tell you another word. Before Sukkot is still in the air, before Rosh Chodesh Cheshvan, it's hapful of a fell in my body. In esrig, there's a heart. And the first days, everyone's running after the esrig. He's number one. He's the Talmud Chacham. He smells good. He tastes good. He's a heart. Look, get that good esrig. He's number one. And what does that mean? Daven with gefühl. You respect a good tefillah. What happens at the end of Yom Tov? Everyone suddenly, esrig is goodbye with you. What? No more. Aravas, everyone's out of business. Lulav's out of business. Hadassah. Aravas. You're the yuckle. You're the nobody. You don't smell good. You don't taste good. You're the rishayim. You're the bums. You're the guys that you daven cold. You daven without any feeling. That's what the Aravas are. And you take those Aravas and you make them gorgeous. You're supposed to try to get either. Should have all the leaves on, and you make a spiel out of him. Since when are you a big shot? Listen closely. When you're davening good, when you're davening junky, you have to respect that tefillah. L'chatchila, you got to daven good. You got to be an esrog with your heart. What? Good what? They throw them up on top. So, the Aravas is the Nebuch tefillah. You're that cold tefillah that you've no kavana, no feeling, no hearts. It don't smell good. It don't taste good. Respect that tefillah. That might be your best tefillah, especially since you got to leave nishbar. You're not so happy about it. The other time you daven, I daven good. So lechatchila at the beginning of Yom Tov, daven gishmak, esrei. But the end of Yom Tov, the end, after you finish davening already, and you look at, that was a davening, don't make away with it. I know Yinkaman on Rosh Hashanah. He davened terrible. For the first Shachris, this guy davened stark. The Rosh Hashanah didn't go. And he's davening cold as ice. Rosh Hashanah, the guy in a Wednesday afternoon, middle of the year, he davens better. Rosh Hashanah, he davened cold as ice. It was a real arava davening. It wasn't worth a penny. When he finished davening, he said, instead of putting himself down, which people love doing, he said, I'm so thankful for that beautiful tefillah that I had. His musaf was fire. Hashem rewarded him. You appreciate what you're doing? I got to tell you what, I told this to Baron Feldman from Baltimore. He said it's Teresemis. It's a negative volume. Trumas Hadeshen. You take out the ashes of yesterday's Avodas Hashem, and you meraimim it before you start a new day in the Beis HaMikdash. Respect yesterday's garbage. Teruma means made it. The first thing in the morning, before you do any avodah in Beis HaMikdash, comes Trumas Hadeshen. Number one, before you shech, before anything, you don't bring an oila. Trumas Hadeshen comes first. And what is Trumas Hadeshen? You meraimim. You make a big spiel out of yesterday's deshen is the ashes. It's the garbage. It's not worth anything. Yom Reimim, yesterday's garbage tefillah. Now you can start a good day. A person has to be Mereimim, all his garbage in his life, all the mistakes. I hold from it. I hold its